Alrighty, Lumberjacks, welcome back to another Logging from Scratch episode. So this time around, I have something new to introduce, which is the 909 John Deere Buncher. So this guy, probably by the time you're watching this, is already out, because I know I have a little bit of an earlier release plan for this guy, because it's in extremely high demand. But man, did it turn out good. We were able to get the models. One thing that we were added to all the new machines, especially with the new updates, was that beautiful vehicle shader, which gives you kind of that nice, how'd you say it, like kind of like a glinty effect, but you can actually see like if you look at that, you see how there's like, it looks like speckles, like dirt speckles on it. It just gives it that really nice look, and most of the machines have that applied to them now, so I think you guys will like that. We also have the new buncher head, which is the C100. This is an FDR style one. I didn't really take it off of anything realistic. It's definitely not 100% realistic to other ones. So it still cuts the best buncher head I've ever created by far. Cuts amazing. I'll talk about it more as we go here. But so first things first, we've actually sold the other buncher that we had out in the woods there, because I wanted to get this guy moving. I've added a whole bunch of counterweights to the back ends of these things, so they handle trees a lot more effectively than they used to. So hopefully we'll be able to see some of that as we press on here. Oops, we're a little off that trailer a bit. Let's tilt her just a teeny bit here. These things also have a lot wider tracks now, so, well, a lot wider standard tracks that you can see, or that you can't see, sorry. So, let's get this guy fired up and out to bushland. Yeah, I had a very productive weekend of modding. There is so many cool things coming. You guys have no idea, and since discovering some of the new like texturing, like adding that vehicle shader and dirt. So, like I said, the tracks. I didn't do the chassis, I didn't do the bodies. I just did the chassis part of things and the tracks themselves. Well, the tracks on these things actually got dirty before, but the skidder now has dirt. Pretty much all the machines. I didn't do the bodies of the machines for getting dirty. How we're going to use our trail, heck with it. One, because the dirt didn't look very good on the bodies, and I couldn't find a really clean way to make it look really good, so I decided no dirt on the bodies of any of the machines. Just on the tires and just on the blade, maybe on the implements like the attachments. The claws get dirty now. Some of the other stuff gets dirty as well, but I just didn't want to ruin the model. Like, the mud just didn't look good on some of them, so I'm like, well, what's the point in degrading this beautiful model that we put together if we you know, put all that work on it, and then just to turn around and cover it with nasty ass mud that didn't look very good. I was like, let's not do that. So instead, I decided to just do the tracks, just do the tires, just do the rims on vehicles, just do the tracks and the base of the tracks. Oops, I'm hitting a stump there. And same with the skidder, just the tires and the blade. When you put the blade on, it does the same thing. I'm gonna have to get out and saw that. That's gonna just annoy the heck out of me here. So yeah, it makes it a lot nicer. And that way you can still have your beautiful machine that doesn't look all too nasty, but still have that mud effect for those who wanted it. So, oops. And honestly, I wasn't a big fan of mud. Like, I just never have been a big fan of mud in the game, but when I started dicking around with that skidder and I found that it was making it really muddy on those tires while I was rolling it, it ended up looking really good, and I was like, oh man, now I have to do it to everything. That's usually how it goes. You're like, oh, okay, well, we did it on one, now I have to do it on everything. But adding the vehicle shaders and the dirt and all that stuff really made night and day difference on the machines, bringing them one step closer to being you know, more beautiful and more workable. So man, this is just sloppy in here. Just tires are just like it's a lot of weight. But yeah, no, I'm really happy with the way the mods have turned out, and there's a pile more of good stuff coming, like just crazy amounts of things that are being worked on as we speak. So you guys can expect everything and everything more. It's going to be wild. I'm actually quite excited. But one step at a time. I'll slowly introduce them as I do this series too. There's a couple I'll probably come out over the next couple episodes, but for now, where do I want to drop this thing? Let's just drop it right here, actually. Kind of on this crossroads here. Get this out of here a little bit. And then maybe we'll start cutting on the end of this crossroad now that we have this all built here. We should probably do some skidding on this episode too, because I see we actually have quite a bit of stuff to skid. Turn this guy around. Get her in position. And I'm just going to leave this here. We need to get some of this wood out before we start doing a little too much bunching here. And these ones you can put the blades on as well. They got the same chassis as the other ones there. So you can put the blades on those. But we got one on the skidder already, so we don't need any more. And the skidder can be our plow device. I'm just going to get this all out of here. And we're going to go park it probably up in our little spot up here again. Right through the bushes. Perfect. So let's do a little bit of skidding today. Or actually, well, you know what? We introduced the buncher. I want to show you guys the buncher a little bit. We'll just do a couple snags here just to show you. So one thing I added this kind of neat little console thing that turns on and off. There's not really any valuable information on there as far as like in-game, or at least nothing I understand that would relate to what we're doing in-game, but it's cool to have something besides having, you know, nothing. Now, the one thing that's really sweet about this buncher head that I am really, really, really happy with is I've finally been able to master the ability to have it so you can actually push through a tree. So I don't know if you guys have, well, I'm sure a lot of you have tried the other bunchers that I used to have, but on most of them, even the one that I was using in previous videos before this head, what would happen is most of the time you get close to the tree, it'd start cutting, and then you'd use the claws and it would pull the tree into the head, which, you know, worked kind of and kind of glitched out lots of the time. But on this one, I made it so it's realistic. So you actually punch into the tree with the blade before you grab. So let's see if I can do an example here. So punch in, then you can grab. It gives you a much better control of your buncher head. It also leaves stumps, which you can clean up with your buncher if you want. The other one that I was using didn't leave stumps behind like ever, so it was kind of unrealistic because I don't know if there's any buncher out there that doesn't leave stumps behind. So we'll just drop a couple right in here. Maybe bump that up a little there. Just to make it easier for the skidder. Since we're nice and close, we'll just do little piles and drag them over there when we need them. But yeah, it tracks amazingly well, controls amazingly well, and the weights, like I said, putting that counterweight in the back of these machines made a huge difference for grabbing. And, you know, like, you can actually have this tree without teeter-tottering the machine back and forth. I mean, this is a little one. The bigger ones, you can still do it, but it makes it a little bit more realistic feeling, I guess you could say. Now, this one is not a double buncher. Like, you can't do... On the small trees, you can probably do 2 grabs if you're really careful. Like these little wiener-sized trees here, we can totally... You could probably definitely get 2 of them in a row if you could see good enough to do it. But it's definitely not meant to do 2 of the big ones. I might be working on another buncher here soon, or another buncher head. That's a collector that'll collect a bunch of trees. But the problem is, like, these trees are heavy, man. Like, if you want to do collection, like, you're never gonna get more than 2 trees in the grapple without the thing wanting to tip on you. So, I don't know. Makes it tricky. Push that up on the side there a little bit. I just love how you punch into the tree now. It makes it actually fun bunching because it's realistic instead of like that crazy grappling thing that we used to do to try to hang onto the tree. Alright, so we don't want to go too wild here. We're just kind of pushing out the road a little bit more. And I haven't really decided where we're going to go. I think we're just going to kind of free cut up here. This is kind of right where we left the other buncher. So let's go snip some of this crap out of here. It's all about the punch, man. All about that punch out. Punch in, punch out. And we'll grab another one here. beauty. And I want this one. Just because it's nice and close, I do want this one. Grab it, drag it back. So yeah, there's it's a crazy amount of developments modding right now. And it's only getting more extreme, more crazy, more fun. I have some neat little things that I've got on the go here, so I think you guys will really like them. And if you don't worry, because there's probably another one right behind it. That's the best part about the mods is it's like Russian roulette. You never know what you're gonna get, and it's fun. Makes it fun for me, fun for you guys. Oops. Just had a weird angle there. What do I do with this one? Let's lay it right here, right in the middle. These birds hanging out in my road slash field. And we'll go back and drop this. And snap it out. Yeah, I don't know. This is by far the most fun bunching experience I've ever had, is using this thing now. And hopefully you guys are having the same impression by the time you see it. It feels weird clear cutting an area. It always feels like you should be leaving some behind or something. Lord knows why, but you know. Let's lay these kind of like this, actually. That'll be ideal. And we'll grab this one. It's by far the most realistic buncher and buncher head I've ever created, so I'm pretty happy with that. And like I said, the functionality is just so much better in 2019 compared to 17. I mean, it's not perfect. I mean, I don't know if it'll ever be perfect, but it's so much just easier to use, and the trees react a lot more, well, maybe not like crazily realistically, but a lot more realistically than they used to, which is huge. Alright. Okay, maybe we'll park this guy for now and do a couple drags. Let's drop that right there. Beautiful machine, though. Beautiful machine. Great head. I'm actually really proud of that one, too. Pretty good times. And I think you guys... I'm just going to tab to my skidder because I'm too lazy. Okay. So let's go get some chunks of wood. Let's grab this little bunch here. I need to watch my tires get all muddied up driving through this stuff, probably. We'll just muddy her up real good there. And grab this little group here. I still want to improve this the skidder blade even more, but it's easier said than done. Some of it's kind of tricky. I mean, it doesn't haul terribly. It's just, I'd still like it to be a little bit more secure in the grabs. So let's drop that right about there. And we'll go back and get some more. Look at all that dirt. See, now we got mud on our tires. Now, I know it looks a little weird having mud on the tires, but no mud on the actual, the body. But if you guys would have seen the mud the way it looked on the body, you would have been like, yeah, no, just keep it on the tires, man, because that looks horrible. Yeah. And that way, like I said, you still get to enjoy your beautiful machine. Man, if I could do that on my actual truck, like my real life truck, if I could just have it so mud went on the tires instead of the body, I'd be like, oh yeah, that looks... Because when your tires look muddy on a perfectly clean truck, I don't know, there's something really cool about it. It just looks really neat. Let's see, can we make this corner nicely? Kind of, sort of like. Oh yeah, we made her, eh? And we'll just kind of slip this along here, guys, somewhere. There we go. Beauty. I love how when you drive in the grass, though, the tires like slowly kind of clean themselves up a little bit. It's pretty neat. But I think overall it'll be a pretty good response from people when they see the mud. I guess time will tell, but should be pretty good. Let's get this squared up a little bit here. Oops, probably get that down. I gotta fix this. This head's a little wiggly. I notice if you go over like a sketchy hill, sometimes it gets locked in the above. It flies up above the grapple a little bit. It looks pretty funny. Try to get as much meat on there as you can. There we go. Now, one thing I could do to make it better secure on the logs is I could make the boom just a teeny bit longer so it grabbed a little bit further back. That would at least give you more time to hang on to the logs. But I don't know. We'll see how things go. I tried locking straps on it too, like to lock the load, like kind of like my old ones I used to do, but sorry, it's focused down here. There we go. Beautiful. So yeah, like I said, I tried to do it just like the old one with the locking straps. But if you do the locking straps on a dangle piece of machinery like that one, the dangle head on the skidder there, what happens is the straps allow the locked pieces of wood to just fly around like all weird. It's almost like they're attached by bungee cords and they just flop around all over the place. They'll even go like right under the skidder. It's really annoying, but I don't know, it's kind of just weird. A weird effect. It's not really something they're supposed to do, I guess. Now on a fixed implement, if you have a fixed, like remember how my old skidders used to be like a fixed head? It didn't dangle, it used to be just a solid kind of attachment head. Now if you do it on those ones, it actually works fine. It'll lock the load perfectly, but not on this other ones. There we go. But it hangs on pretty well, I guess. I haven't really done a lot of skidding with it, to be totally honest. I did lots during testing, kind of just testing it out, but that's why I love doing this single-player series. You know, even this logging from scratch stuff is great because it's actually what I use for my biggest testing time. But I mean, I don't know. I've never been able to really accurately put logs like this in a pile of skidding. This is it's turned out to be pretty great, man. Pretty great. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this back to the next pile here. I'm not actually going to skid it out, though, because we're going to be out of time. So let's just drive it up our little crappy little skid road that we made. And we'll get... oh, here's the next pile right here. Oh, we got time to bring this one. That's actually nice and close. I thought it was way up there, so let's grab that before we go. One last little guy here. Now I know the head doesn't rotate, and I know some people are probably not liking that so much, but it was the only way to make it dangle properly. If you make it rotate, the dangle gets completely ruined from side to side, and it's really glitchy. So I opted to not do that this time. So it actually allows it to still turn a little bit, but if you try to make the dangle grapple rotate, it's really glitchy. I'd say it's even more glitchy than having it not work, I'll tell you. It was actually at the end of 2017 I found that this system worked a lot better, so I went with it. Okay, so I'm going to park this bad boy here. Right over here. And then when we come back in the next one, we can keep on keeping on. Oh yeah, it's also got a bounce thing that I'm kind of looking at. So if yours does that, it seems to be only when you park it on an angle. If you keep it straight, it seems to settle fine. But if you park it on an angle, it's something to do with there's like a kink in the frame or something where the suspension doesn't like it. But anyway, so park it straight. Don't leave it parked on an angle. It looks like we got ourselves some wood to chop up next time as well here, so that worked out good. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. So if you guys liked the video, leave a like, leave a comment. Do not forget to subscribe. And if you're in the bush, don't forget to hug a tree. All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.